Okay, YouTube, today we're going to talk about the holy grail of 80s cult cinema. We're talking about the classic Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Stay tuned. Today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite movies of all time, and to me what I consider to be one of the gems of late 1980s cinema. We're going to talk about Killer Klowns from Outer Space. The movie is made by the Kyoto brothers, the great minds that brought us Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and also the Critters from the Critters movies. These guys are awesome at visual storytelling. They have had years of experience with special effects, so it's no surprise that this movie is going to look at least awesome. Reportedly, the movie only cost $2 million to make, and supposedly that went all to production costs, which would make sense because these guys are special effects dudes, so all they really would have to pay for is like craft services and stuff like that. But the special effects in here, at least for the late 80s, are top notch. In fact, way better in excess than I would consider any movie at the time. I mean, look at the close-up on these clown faces. The design, the articulation is just amazing. And some of the other special effects were just phenomenal. In my opinion, they have some of the best stop motion I remember from that time. And you have to remember, this was the 80s, so everything had to be done by hand. You can't really rely on the CG that everybody does now. Production value-wise, you couldn't ask for a better situation. You got visual effects guys that are directing and developing this movie. This seemed like a passion project for them, and it really shines through. The movie begins where a couple sees, I guess they see an asteroid streaking across the sky, and then they go and, just to kind of investigate what's going on. Meanwhile, they found a circus tent. I'm summarizing real fast because I don't want to give away a lot of this movie because this movie is freaking awesome. But they find the circus tent. And I think the idea here is that they're not actual clowns. They're just aliens that look like clowns, which is kind of awesome, which gives them a highly stylized look. So they go in there and then they find out these clowns are malevolent, and then they leave. And then through the whole movie, it's kind of like, clowns using the trust of the people of a loving clown and just kind of perversing the whole lovable clown thing throughout the whole movie and just tricking everybody and just kind of messing with everybody throughout the whole movie. And then the clowns take over more and more of the city, Crescent Cove to be exact. So they all deduce what's going on with the clowns, and they go back to the tent and they find this huge dinosaur clown, which is really cool. So that's most of the movie. But what I really like about this movie is its innocent humor. It's politically incorrect humor, like with the fat girls in the ice cream scene. This movie just harkens back to a time when things were simpler, people were more innocent, and not everything had to be totally politically correct and overanalyzed and whatever you see in a lot of movies today. It was just simple, and a lot of the gags are almost Looney Tunes-like, but it has the right feel. And the movie was also, I think, loosely patterned around the blob type of format, the B-movie format. But the whole movie is just a nice, innocent, fun movie. It's straightforward. Again, the production value, the design of these clowns, I think are phenomenal. And it's just a different type of story from original people. What's great about the Kyoto brothers is that everything they do has a certain style to it, and it's really cool, and it really reminds me of what was great about the 80s. These movies were able to think out of the box in a way which I don't think we can, especially nowadays. All we come out with is just adaptations of movies or superhero movies. But in the 80s, I felt there was a lot of thinking out of the box and a lot of just free thinking. Not everything was so touchy like it is today. It was just thinking out of the box, true originality. And I think that Killer Klowns exemplifies the best of 80s cinema. And in my opinion, 80s cinema is one of the most expressive, one of the most original of the decades. Not just because I was born in it, but just because there was a lot of awesome movies to come out in the 80s. Just think about it. In closing, I think it's just an awesome movie with an awesome production value, and the look of the clowns is really, really cool for me. Also, I've heard that they're planning on coming out with a Killer Klowns sequel, supposedly in 3D. Now that would be a sequel or a remake or whatever that I could really handle if it was done by the Kyoto Brothers. And they have to be done by the Kyoto Brothers. But if they come out with a sequel or anything related to Killer Klowns, that would be really cool. So might want to look up on and check up on that. So that's my review. I hope you go and see this movie. This is one of the best B movies. Scratch that, one of the best movies of the 80s.